And we are live. I didn't check my mic before we started. Let me check my mic real fast. Alright, I see the bars for the mic going up and down, so I'm gonna assume that the mic is working. Alright. I'm just gonna have like a chill, relaxed stream, because we're just gonna be working on UI for the most part. Some API stuff and whatnot. Let's see. Let's get this server up and running. Oh, let's get chat up on my phone. There we go. I should be able to see stuff in chat now. Oop. Thought I fixed that. Did not see. All right, give me a second. I need to ping the Discord. Let's do that real fast. There we go. Discord has been summoned. All right. Got most of everything set up. Servers running. There we go. Let's log in. Now let's see, what was I gonna, right, we're working on assets. So, I think this is where we left off on the last stream. I've done a little bit of stuff behind the scenes, improving stuff and whatnot. But right now, the topic at hand is how to upload and manage assets. Do a sub page. That's like for creating passwords. I mean, not passwords, assets. Just like Because I was thinking maybe we'll have like a dialogue that pops up here. There's going to be like a ton of different settings for creating an asset. So instead we'll have like an assets slash create page or whatever. To here to assets. And then back to app.js. We have the current page function. I wonder, does JavaScript have a split function? It does. All right then. So let's see, 5. So I think that's getting rid of all of that. So current page returns. Where do I use it? Okay, so pages, okay. I'm gonna create a duplicate one called current path, and what that's going to give us is essentially the same thing as this one, but we're going to split it along the /. Actually, we could just return. And what this will give us is the different pages. So if we use current path in assets, we can display a different page based on the path. So here in our render, let's create another class for an asset list. So this will be a component where eventually on this page we'll just have like blocks where all the assets are. So the IDE that I'm using at the moment is CLion. It's by JetBrains. And I'm liking it so far. The main reason I'm using it, because I used to use Visual Studio all the time, but I'm using CLion because I can also use it on Linux, so I'm not tied down to a platform and whatnot. See, and instead of all of this, we're going to have, oh wait, this is the upload asset. No, this is the asset list. It's a different one. All right, for now, I'm just gonna return assets, because why not? then we don't need an upload asset in here. I'll worry about this later. Because we can't list assets until we have them being uploaded and then stored on the server. Now, upload asset, or actually let's call this create asset. Have like a display page function in here. And what this will do is it will do something similar to what I'm doing over here. So if you guys hadn't noticed, this is like a one-page web app, so like the page isn't reloading. So that's kind of how I want to do the entire thing. The way I'm doing that is I have this content component, and I have event listeners, so every time the page changes, it kind of reloads everything and kind of sets the current page. Instead of using current page, I want to use current path. And then use the first value of that. That way we can have subpages. And I also need a way to unchange page. I need a better way than using current page. I'm actually going to delete current page. So I'm going to change this to change path. And then what we're gonna do is create an array from this. Or not. Can do is just copy this and say if path is not equal to the current path. There we go. That should do the trick. Where else did I use it? Oh, here it is. Change path. Alright, and I think that is all uses of it. So now going back to assets. Here, here in display page, we can get the sub page by just going and current path and then the second argument, which is 1 because we're programmers. And then we're gonna switch on sub page. Default. We want to change the path to just plain assets. Yep. So if we're just on assets, or wait, no. If path dot length, yes, is less than 2, then we just want to return asset list as our page. Then we can switch on the sub page. If we are on the page create, then we want to do the create asset page. Then in here, do I have this in here? I must have not renamed it from the other, whatchamacallit, from the other page when I copied it over. Alright, so this is going to be assets. Let's test this out. There we go. So that's in app.js. Actually, that would be in here. The length would be the right thing. Okay, let's try current path. Yeah, there is a length property. Cannot read properties undefined reading length. at assets.display page. Oh, yep. That would be the problem. I forgot to delete that. So now if we reload, there we go. Look at that. Now subpages, and if it's an invalid one, we just go back to the root of assets. Okay, cool. It's all coming together. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is on the base assets page, where it's going to list all of my assets, I'm going to add a plus to create a new asset. So the way that we're going to do that is Google icons. And I want this one. Just gonna copy that. I've already included the link for that. This one. On click, we want to change path to assets/create. Test that out. Oh, right. That should do it. Let's put the plus on the left side. There we go. It's ugly, but it will do for now. I can use CSS to center it and whatnot later. And now let's work on the create asset form. So this will take all the data from it. But let's actually create the form for this. So first thing I want to do is make a header. gonna create an asset. Actually, all of this is inside this div. We don't need the list. Create asset. That looks good. We just need to add in extra fields. So let's add in another input. Type. Okay, this is going to be the asset name. Source file if it needs a source file. That's the thing. Some asset types will need source files, others won't. So we need different form types based on different assets. So we'll have the asset name, and then we'll have asset type. This will be a drop down. Okay, so use a don't use an input, we use a select. This is going to be asset type. Option value equals we can have texture as one of them, and model as another one. For the moment, may create other types. Well, will create other types in the future. And then right here, is there a way to make it so that this has an event on every time it changes? On change, okay. I think this is what I want. this dot. So this we get stop props. Yep. Equals we'll have it asset type as one of the not properties. Want state. Yeah, I think it's state that we want. And we'll have model as the default state. And then on change, we'll want to have a update asset type, or no, we'll say select asset type. And then just use document get element by ID. Asset type, value. Let's see. Set state, or no, this dot set state. We're gonna set this to asset type, asset type, and we'll see if this works. Then need another function for the different asset type. So we'll call it display asset options or display type options. Pull another document get element by ID. And we will switch on asset type. Default will be we'll just set the state to model if it's not set to anything. If it is a model, we will return just this, the file for that. And then this is the exact same thing, but We'll do that later. Figure that out later. For now, it's just the same exact thing, so there's not really a point to having it there. So we'll just create a test option that's just... Let's see. Do these need to have brakes? No, they have returns. So if it's a scene, we just return. Nada. And then we also need an option for a scene, since we want to test that. Let's test it out. Ooh, fun. Assets is not defined. In content, render content. It's literally right there. Oh, wait. It's because this didn't. Select asset type. Cannot read properties of null. Reading value. Okay. Select value. Create asset display type option. So right here, oh, I know. That should do the trick. Look at that. That's right. These do not have built-in brakes, so let's add them in. Alright. Ah, much better. And now for some reason, options aren't showing up. Oh. Of course. I actually need to put something there. Look at that. And it appears to be working because the model specific, the thing specific things change. So hey, look at that. Asset name. Let's do labels for the rest of them as well. Alright, that looks good. Well, it looks terrible, but it looks functional. So let's write the code to actually upload or create assets. Here. So the way that I plan on doing this is we're going to use multi-part form data. And yeah, I must not have pushed on my laptop because I had stuff to test this out, but I guess not. Dude, Brane is shorting out. Brane, please work. Alright, we're back. See, instead of using a request, I found out you can just inline all the stuff in the fetch request. Much cleaner. Like that. So for this form data, let asset type be equal to this state asset type. And then we only want to get asset file if there actually is an asset file to upload. So we need a switch for that. If the case is model, then you do want to do that. The case is texture. And we also want to upload a file. And then also case or scene. We don't do anything. And then we want to set set asset data to a new dictionary. Asset name is equal to document.getElementById asset name dot value. And then asset type is equal to asset type all right, and that should do the job. So we upload the asset with all of our data and whatnot. So asset name, test asset. Let's have the network tab open so we can catch it. Let's say this is a texture. Upload test upload.texture upload. So of course the fetch errors out because I haven't coded anything for it. But we can look at it, I think. File. View source, view parsed. Aha! Here we go. Form data. Oh, okay. So we haven't added the JSON to the form data yet. We want to do that after the switch, just in case we want to add some things there to the asset data. It's here on form data. We want to append asset data and new blob. Will that work? I'm guessing I'll have to do a json.stringify, but for now this might work. Let's test it out. Test asset, type texture, choose file, text, upload. Ooh, failed to construct blob. That means we do need a json.stringify. Try it again. Test asset. Type texture, choose file, test upload text. Upload. Value provided cannot. What? I had this working yesterday. Oh. Where's my laptop? I think I need to input arguments as a dictionary. Alright. Okay. So here, this needs to be a list. And then we also need to say the type after this. There you go. Now it will work. Just upload. Upload. There we go, no JavaScript error. Looking good. So let's look at the payload. So we had content disposition, form data, name file, file name, test upload text, content type text plain. So the application.json had the actual asset name, test asset, asset type, texture in there. So that looks good. Does this have anything in it? Yeah, it does. So why didn't it show up in there? Oh well. Now let's go on to the server side. So it actually accepts this create asset request. So that will be in asset http server.cpp. So set up API calls. Which API upload asset, or let's actually name it to create asset. So let's rename this to create asset. And I'm actually going to need to edit the database to change that. So we want this database. And then in permissions, I think it is. Yeah, we just changed this value to create assets. So now we're saying asset create. I'm gonna say creating asset. request, get file value, asset data. This is going to be and we're just gonna see out the asset data. Is equal to asset data field dot content. Just like so, and then we will want to convert this into JSON. Or just send it through the process asset. Or no, convert to JSON, then send through the process asset queue. All right, I need to go for a bit, so. Alright, sorry about that. I am now back and with water. So, now we get to work on converting this to JSON. Very fun. So this is also something I had on my laptop, which I didn't push to my GitHub apparently, and it's too late now because I don't want to have to deal with merging at the moment. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I committed it, but I just didn't push. Yeah, I'm smart. All right. So I've remembered that set up API call saying it's whatever. So here we go. This is what we need to copy right there. Then use it over here. JSON, value, asset, data. Problem of parsing asset data. So we're gonna get the creating asset, problem parsing asset data if it has a problem. And then want to put it into like a process asset queue or something. Just so it doesn't take forever, since I plan to do like optimizations and whatnot server side for stuff. You know what? That can come later. Right now, minimum viable product. Let's get it working. So no thread pool in queue. Actually, no, we can keep the thread pool in queue, but I think I'll put it into a different queue later. But let's do asset data and no, it all needs to be done here for the moment. So we want to switch on asset data. Asset type dot as string. Then again, I don't think switch works. Does this work? Ah, right, I'd have to make a custom hashing function for it. simplest thing to do would be to have a map between asset types and like an enumerator. Yeah. So first thing we're gonna do is create an asset ID. Actually, this is a good idea. Let's just create the asset ID right away. So the asset ID is going to be the let's create a new constructor for asset ID. Actually, I don't need a constructor. Well, actually, constructor would be nice. So we can do it all in one place. I'm too lazy. So you're gonna create a new asset ID. So kind of call it ID. ID dot owner is going to be sessions session ID dot am I really not storing the username? Apparently I am not. That should be part of session context. I don't want to have to do an SQL call constantly for that. Right, and now when the user logs in, here we go. Username equals username. Then I don't think username is ever set to lowercase. It is. Okay. Now if username as part is the user context. So now we switch on actually owner should probably be the user ID. That way it doesn't change based on that way it doesn't change based on like the user changing their username and whatnot if they can't change their username. I don't know if I'm gonna allow that yet. server address is going to be equal to the domain. We store domain. Common HTTP HTTP server. Okay, so we do save it as underscore domain. The type is going to be equal to asset data dot and have that be asset data as string the from string and to string. This could probably be static. These should be static. That work perfectly as static functions. All right, now back to where we were. Asset type from string. So there's not a move constructor? Or copy constructor? That works. Finally, name is equal to asset data Actually, these don't need to have asset in them. They could just be type and name. Over here, where we create it, we're gonna just say name and type, like that. And this as string. And then we can switch on set type. Type. Just have a default error that tells us if it's an unimplemented type. And we also want to let's do case ID dot assets. We actually don't have a thing called model because that's like a thing of several different things. So let's call it mesh instead, and then here in there we kind of mesh. So if it's the type mesh, creating a new mesh asset, and then probably want to check the file types to see if it's one that we support. For now, there aren't any that I support because at the moment I don't even have libraries for them. So here it'd be to do get gltf library, because that's like the main file type I want to support is gltf2. then up here, I'm gonna copy this line. We're gonna call this file. So this gets like the mesh file. And then to put this in brackets since we're defining variables. So by default, cases don't have scopes. Size file.content.size Huh. I need to create a piping overload for this. So here in asset, we're gonna have a grader with a outstream. I think it's an outstream reference and a constant asset ID reference ID. All right, and this is going to return a reference to an output stream. Just like that. Now what does it think? Oh, yep. It thought there were implementations, but there were not. So let's go here, and right underneath this operator, let's create this operator. And that should be as easy as it can be to get that working. There we go. Let's go. And now let's test it out. Because we'll see if a correct asset ID is being created, and we'll also see if the file is also, you know, getting included. We'll see if we're able to parse the JSON and everything. Let's do it. First thing we need to do is restart the server. Ooh, fun. Many undeclared identifiers. In string. Here, I'm just gonna try clearing the CMake cache. see if that fixes it. Sit back and wait for a bit. Use of undefined type. Asset ID. ID string turns a string, and then for some reason why is that glitching out? Seems like it should be fine. Notes you reference to function template. Element character unsigned integer 64. Basic outstream character. This ID is a constant, or string is a constant. Actually, I'm gonna try one more thing before giving up. And that is, we're gonna actually include this as part of asset ID. As a friend. And then going back to here, this is asset ID operator. Here, let me check my code where I do this somewhere else. Let's see, I think it's in networking, message. Because I have tons of piping operators in here. Friend OStream, operator, standard outstream, OS, constant reference to the thing, return it. Yeah, looks fine. Or maybe I just leave it like this. Asset ID only has 2 arguments. I'm gonna just say that it's a friend for now. It still leads back to here. I'm gonna try building it like that. Use of undefined type. Basic O stream. Ooh. Maybe that'll do the trick. Maybe I'm just missing the include for it. Looks like it built. Hello, how are you doing? Sorry if it took me a bit to see your message. But I see chat. I care. Hey, look, it built. Alright. Moment of truth. Test asset, mesh, and let's actually, from now on, actually put in like a real test asset. Go to test assets, open an explorer, copy this, copy it over to there. Models, and we'll upload this GLTF file or GLB. Oh, we got a 400. Problem parsing asset data. Name, test asset model. Okay, asset server. Why did I put in request stop body? This needs to be asset data field dot content. All right, now to do the entire thing all over again. So we build. All right, and now I'll need to relog in. Create asset, asset name, test, set, type mesh, choose file, upload. Oh, that's fun. What is the type? Model? But I thought I changed it. And I thought this entire thing was in a try-catch statement, so how did that get through? It's probably because it was an assertion. I guess assertions just always fire for everything. So our problem was an asset type. And the problem was that we tried putting in model, but the only thing we have to convert from is mesh, not model. And my handy assert fired, telling us that I was dumb, and even though I changed everything in here to mesh, I still initialize it to be model. So now if we start everything again, log in as wirewinds, password of password, very secure. Test asset, we are mesh, choose file. Ooh, we got another abort. It still says model. Why does it still say model? Oh. More stuff to rename. So name, test asset, mesh, choose file, MSL clean, upload. Hey, it actually worked this time. We can see we got our asset data. Our domain is localhost 11 mesh. Name is test asset. So asset ID is working just fine. User ID is working as well. And mesh size is working as well. So we are actually uploading the file and all that. Let's go. And if you're wondering which model we are trying to upload at the moment, want to open in Explorer. So the model that I'm currently opening is one that I want to test out in there, and it is this file, which is not apparently the Windows viewer thing is kind of messing it up, but it's the Curiosity rover. If you look at the actual Blender file, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like this. So I want to upload this model and just have it like rotating or whatever. Eventually, at first we'll just do like a quad, and then we'll do this one. Because I'm like, it's a fancy model. It looks good. Has a little bit of normal maps over here and on the wheels. And it looks cool. So that is a sneak peek of the future. Once we get all of this working, all right, what next? Well, see, the next thing I want to do, my final goal or whatever, well, current goal is to recreate the demo I had a few months ago, where it's just a spinning quad with my logo on it. So let's get it to the point where we can actually do that. So we want to upload a mesh that is a quad, and then we want to upload a texture that is my logo, and then we want the server to process all of that into a state that it can be sent to the client, and then we have the client use that. And then we might also need a scene for all of that. For the moment, we'll just hardcode stuff in on the client side, not on the server side. So we already have all we need over here. This is fine. This is great. So what we need is for the server to save the file when we upload it there. So let's get a GLTF library. First Google result, can't go wrong, right? Header only C++11, a tiny GLTF 2.0 library. See, since I already have a JSON library in here that I like, would it be possible for me to write my own GLTF library reader? Files that contain animation, geometry, and other data. Shader, GSL files, yeah. The Kronos group is the people who maintain it, so let's read through. That's a lot of pages. Yeah, let's just use the GitHub repo that will be using its own JSON library. kind of want to learn how to write my own Fine, I'll just use this. Okay, where are the... What headers do I take? It doesn't really have a download. Where do I go to the build? No. Okay, let's just see what they include. They include tinygltf.h. So is this all I need is this file? Because there's other files like this tinygltf.cc. Oh. Okay, I kind of see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is in utility, I'm going to put that gltf.cc. So file tiny gltf.cc, and in here we're gonna put this, and we're gonna add it to our CMake. Actually, this only needs to be on the server. Move it over to the server, so... Because everything else we're going to use a custom file format. GLTF. New CMake lists. Add library. GLTF. And in here as well, we will put tinygltf.h. And that should do the trick. So GLTF. So in this CMake thing, we'll want to include GLTF. Add subdirectory GLTF. And we'll also want to link to GLTF. Let's see, I want to create a class, and this class name will be auto processor? No. I'll just call it mesh processor. Honestly, we only need a function. I'm gonna add it to the server, not in here. HTTP server. We're going to include tinygltf.h. So we might need a file manager. I don't even really need the file manager that much. Except for maybe caching in the future. Yeah, let's keep it that way for now. For now we have a file manager. For now, let's just keep everything in. Oh joy, this is going to be a very large function. So we have the GLTF library now. Creating a mesh asset. And let's look at the examples here. Basic. Is this the examples or? Oh no, we want the examples. No, these are the examples. Okay, this is how it saves a file. I want a loader. Oh wait, I can just look at the wiki. They had stuff for that. Accessing vertex data. You can access vertex data from accessor and buffer views in the following way. Specs literally tell you how to access the contents within a buffer, with the exception of not telling you that count is the number of values that define some data type, of which the buffer view refers to within the buffer, accessing vertex data from a GLD. So I might load the GLTF model. How do I load the GLTF model? Give me more info. Let's look at this. Okay, we don't need to load shaders. I just want to get vertex data. Ah! How do I load the model? Loader. Load binary from file. Model. Okay, where do we create the model? Alright, here we have created a model. Oh, this is just in main. Okay. So create a model, and we create a loader. And we also have a string for errors. So let's copy all this over to here. And we included tiny GLTF, right? Yeah. Let's see, do we do any namespaces or whatnot? No namespaces that I can see. See, cert, math, standard lib, glue, GLTF, and tiny GLTF.h. Okay. All right, back to here. This should... From asset server GLTF tiny GLTF.h. Yes, it literally is right here in asset HTTP server. Maybe if I put it at the top of this file, then it... Here we go. That should be working because I have this. I'm just gonna ignore this even though it's telling me that there's error. Ah, fine, there's error. You've beaten me. Fine. I'll just do it this way. So get a string called input file name, get file path extension, but file name. We use the loader to load binary from file, or load ASCII from GLTF. Load binary from memory? I think this is what I want. Alright, so model, string error, string warn, binds, length. Let's see if there is loads a GLTF binary asset from memory. Okay, let's try this. The first thing we put in is the model. Second thing we put in is the warn string. And then what we want to put in is file.content.size. Not dot size dot data. Then here you want to do file.content.size. Reference. Oh, all these need to be by reference. Or yeah. Model error warning. Oh, so it's the error and then the warning. Let me swap that real fast. Then we have a constant unsigned character bytes pointer. Right value of constant char pointer. Unsigned char pointer. Just gonna convert it. And then get the file dot size. So that should have done it. Oh. That only works for a GLB file. If warn not empty and if error not empty. change this C++. Standard C. I know there's error, but is there C warn? And over here we'll do C error. Like that. Alright, and now that we have the model loaded, use accessor and buff view bytes to offset to determine where position data is located in the buffer. Where's this buffer view coming from? Forge primitive in a mesh. Accessors. For auto mesh reference in model meshes, mesh dot primitive in mesh primitives. I'm not really going anywhere with this, I'm just trying to figure out the library. So we need an accessor, which we take the model, accessor's primitive attributes position. Oh, so we're getting the primitive, and then we're getting the attribute position from it. And then we get a buffer view from the buffer views. Accessor, that buffer view. Interesting. And then to get an actual buffer, for the mesh data in here, so this buffer, we get out of the model buffers, buffer view. Why do we have to go through so many indexes? All right, so then we can get a float array of the positions. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research on GLTF file format. To understand all of this. So that isn't what I wanted. Oh, wait a second. My brain was glitching out. I thought I had pasted all of this. I was like, whatever. So for every single accessor count. So the accessor gives us how many of this attribute there is. So, let's do something fun, shall we? Make it so that we print out all the primitives in a model when it's uploaded, because why not? So let's see if primitive has a name. Do I have to go through an attributes thing for the name as well? Because I would think the GLTF stores the name of primitives. Maybe the mesh? Oh, there we go. So the mesh has a name. The primitives don't? So what's the difference between a mesh and a primitive? standard CO uploaded mesh. Mesh name, what do you want to do? And let's see if this code works, because why not? Gonna open include file JSON to HPP. Okay. It's taking a bit to load. There we go. There we go. Let's try running it again. STB image.h. What is the STBI image? I think for now we'll just do the... Oh, we can include them. Okay, it should build now that we have those. Right, we need to pass in the file manager here now. Build finished. Let's debug it. Can we upload an asset and retrieve all the position data from it? Yep. Look at that. All I have to do is make sense of all this. Or maybe decide on a simpler file type. Because the way that I'm building the engine, it'll have a custom file type for everything. So I might want people uploading all like the different stuff individually instead of just as like GLTF, because I'm not going to be able to support all of the features of GLTF just out of the box. So maybe I'll just have people upload object files or whatnot. Something to look into. But for now, I think that's the end of this stream. So got a lot of stuff done. We created the create asset thing, the asset page. We got all the API calls for it working. Next steps are getting the server to process and save it. Then after that comes the fun part. We get the client to be able to request the asset and then use it. And that will be on the next few streams. See you guys next time.